What's up, guys? Slightly different topic today. Should be fun to talk about. So, I have a membership at a regular old gym. I won't mention which one, so as not to throw any gyms under the bus. But I have a membership at a gym, and it has been a very interesting experience. And so, I guess first thing, why would I do that? Why would I go to this regular gym? Basically to just kind of do supplementary things. So I do, typically my routine, I do like the same 8 things there. Is they just have machines and configurations of stuff that just work out very well for what I'm trying to do. So I do some sort of isolated pull, some sort of isolated push. I may throw in a little bench press, I may throw in a little strict press, but just generally some sort of push pull because my upper body strength is not very good. My elbows are kind of janky. And then some sort of isolated leg movement just to get a little extra volume in my quads and hammies just because they could always use a little extra. I don't deadlift there. I do a little bit of squatting, but not much. I'm not doing really bicep curls or, calf machines or anything. It's really just to supplement the things that we do here that I'm a little bit weak in, that they have some good tools to utilize. So that's pretty much it.
How often do you go there?
I try and go twice a week for honestly about 45 minutes to an hour and 15. It doesn't really take that long, but usually I think I'm averaging about once a week. So not super often.
Do you see a lot of people doing good stuff there, productive things, good technique, good positions, like you would at CrossFit?
So that is the meat and potatoes of this video, I think. No, just straight up, I would say the ratio is 1 in 20 of doing things, satisfying all these criteria. Doing something that is productive, doing something correctly, and then also handling a load that makes sense. So it is super possible that a 90-year-old woman and a 15-year-old boy and a 45-year-old whoever could all be satisfying that criteria. I don't care about how heavy it is. I don't care if they're deadlifting per se. It's, are you doing something productive that makes sense for you weight-wise, and then are you doing that thing correctly? 1 in 20. And then you can see someone do something productive and correct and all that stuff, and then immediately switch into something that's batshit crazy that makes no sense. And so we're going to play some videos of what those things might be.
Yeah. Do you see, so like in here I think most people in here would agree that CrossFit Only Creek and most CrossFit gyms and strength conditioning centers have a set of foundational movements like deadlifting and pressing and squatting. Do people do stuff like that, or have they come up with new movements that are better than the foundational movements?
Yeah, definitely. All the ones that you're going to see through this video. It's weird because people try and go there and reinvent the wheel and think that maybe they hear squatting's bad for your knees and they decide they're going to do something that makes no sense, or they think that they've found the magic secret that no one else has found and they do something else that makes no sense. Yeah. But it is like a virus. It's crazy. And then people learn from each other and they share stupid shit with each other, and the cycle continues. And so for however awkward you feel in here, and if you feel like you just can't grasp double unders or snatches or whatever it is, rest assured you are being infinitely more productive than the average person that is in the machine next to me, because they have no idea what they're doing. They're totally unsupervised, and oftentimes they're quite literally just making stuff up, or trying to follow the directions of the machine with a false idea. Here's number one thing I see is it's typically a woman. She's typically overweight, and she's typically on some sort of, you can't see my legs, but the leg machine on her phone, not exerting any effort, laboring under the delusion. I'm not blaming this person. I'm blaming sort of this idea that you can target body fat, and so they think they're going to slim their legs down by working this tiny muscle it's a leg stabilizer. It couldn't be more wrong, and that person's in there spending their time and money doing this. So rest assured that if you are here doing what you're doing, infinitely more productive. Even if you feel super sketchy and insecure, trust me, we're looking out for you. You're doing stuff good at the very least.
But kind of on that note, we know that a lot of our members do have memberships to other like traditional gyms, like a 24-hour fitness and stuff. So, you know, one of the things we wanted to chat about was if you are going to those gyms, do something productive. And for me, the simplest thing, I mean, you could get more technical, but the simplest thing is that most machines are designed by super smart, like exercise physiologists and biomechanists and stuff. So reality is if you look at the machine and you just look at the instructions and you go through a full range of motion and it's hard, it's good. You know, and like Eric said, hit areas that maybe are weak. If we get on you like crazy for your lockout and stuff, do things on machines, put in crazy volume where you really focus on locking out in a very controlled setting, and
that's
then you can apply
exactly what I do. Is
pressing, your
freaking
snatches.
Go do absolute lockout, because it's hard with the barbell sometimes. So going to absolute lockout with a machine where your back is stabilized and your feet are out of the equation, all I'm doing is getting elbow extension after elbow extension. That is what I'm there to do. And so
then you can put in crazy volume with that too. So you can lock out over and over and over and over and over again, as opposed to
it dictates a range of motion, so it's totally safe. Yeah, if I were to, if you're struggling as to what to do at these kind of places, my recommendations would be find some sort of hamstring curl machine and strengthen your hamstrings, and then find the assisted pull-up machine and use that and make it challenging, because bands are tricky. Or lat pull downs. That's also a great idea. But lat pull downs you can technically swing into as long as there's the appropriate amount of resistance. There is no way to fake those pulling machines. It just, most people tend to put them way too light and they just put no effort in. What else were we going to talk about?
Does anyone ever ask you about what you're doing and correct you on your form?
I've had people ask me what I'm doing sometimes, because I'll occasionally do some front squats, because squatting in front of a mirror I found is awesome. But I was doing front squats and this woman was like all up in my business trying to she came up to me and was like, I front squat like this. I'm like, okay. And she was telling me all about it. I was like, I'm not sure what you want from me. I didn't start this conversation, and I'm not sure if you're asking for advice or telling me the way I should do it, but no matter what situation is, I'm really not interested in hearing what you have to say. Because I front squat, like, that's probably actually my best movement. I front squat pretty competently. So yes, people do that occasionally. It's weird. They're there every day for like 4 hours. It's bizarre.
Yeah, that's a long time.
What was the other thing?
Is anyone in there doing CrossFit?
No. The gym I go to, you would be pretty hard pressed to pull off CrossFit stuff. The space is super confined. It's crazy. It would not work out pretty well, very well for you. Oh, I feel like there was something else. For all of these people at the gym who are doing this sort of unfocused, unguided, made up, crazy stuff, is imagine that your car needs servicing. And one person goes, I know nothing about cars, so I'm going to take it to a mechanic. Or at the very least, they take it to their brother or their cousin or whoever it is that knows something about cars that can help them get through that. Maybe it's something simple and they can fix it, but it's like, ooh, man, I don't really know how to replace a timing belt. I'm going to take that to the professional, right? Timing belt, right? So you have a problem, you take that to a professional, okay? On the flip side, that would be, I just don't know anything about fitness. I want to get in shape. I know I need to do some basic things, but I'm going to hire either a personal trainer, I'm going to get some group classes or whatever it is. Those things are the same. On the flip side, if you go to the gym and you've done no research, you have no education, and you're not going to put in the time to figure out how to do things right, that is basically the same as just opening up the hood of your car and just be like, well, I'm just going to work on my car a little bit. I'm just going to hammer on some stuff and twist some things and tighten stuff randomly, arbitrarily, and imagine what that would do for your car. And lo and behold, some of these people, it's so mind-bogglingly bizarre what they're doing. It is no wonder that people think that exercise doesn't work, because a lot of times exercise doesn't work because it's made up.
Just made up.
Yes. Anyway, I don't know. I think supplementary stuff is fantastic, that you should try it out. If you have one of those things, it's a great method to use. But please, I hope you've enjoyed all of these clips of people doing wacky shit. And rest assured that even if you feel like you're the most uncoordinated, uncomfortable, totally incompetent person in here, you are doing good stuff and getting stronger. And you are at the very least doing stuff good. And we're seeing to it that you guys are doing good stuff.
Good.
Keep doing good stuff. Thanks for watching.